Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatītam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaदिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasishtha Nirvana Prakarana Purvardha, section 59. The vision of the liberated sage. When a person does not associate with his mental thoughts because he realizes himself to the witnessing self, his sankalpas vanish like mist before the rising sun. In order to understand this point profoundly, the idea is to be able to separate yourself from all your mental thoughts. There are two realities within you. One is the absolute reality. When you think of reflected suns in jars of water, they have two types of reality. Reflected sun is creating its own story. The real sun is completely detached. So, in order to attain enlightenment, your whole focus is, I am Brahman. I am the sun. So in order to do so, now follow an allegorical type of understanding. You begin to raise your head out of the jar and start introducing to yourself the understanding that you are not limited by the jar. Now you are looking around as you raise your head, see countless jars. And these all jars are creating their sound. Some have pleasant celebration going on. Some have a roaring sounds of agitation. Some are in different types of adversities. Now your understanding should be that I am experiencing all those things. So I should not have to compare with others. Am I having a greater happiness than those people are having? No comparison. I'm already, everywhere there is any soul experiencing anything. Behind the soul, I am the absolute self. Now that becomes your focus. That's your real I am. Moving away from the world of unreal I am to the real I am. That's the subtle highlight of attaining enlightenment. Another simile sometimes in your dream, you become aware that it is a dream. Then what happens? A spontaneous detachment develops within your heart. And to handle all that is happening in your dream, like you are enjoying some cream, like a leela, like fun. That point is called detachment. You are detaching from your mental thoughts. More, another level, you don't have to dream and you don't have to be in deep meditation. Your mind has been purified to such an extent, that's the description of a sage, that it is spontaneous to view yourself, aham brahmasmi. And therefore, all that your mind is envisioning is like a cinema show. And cinema show is elaboration of the screen. It is a screen that is showing through all the stories of the show. And the stories are directed by karmic process. So just like with the show, you simply watch, relax, eat your popcorn. But here you don't relax in that worldly way. You relax with the profound understanding that you are sustained by God, who is boundless love. That's again a helpful state for your mental bhavana. The profoundest state is a state of entering into like sleep-like state. So first you realize your dream is distant from you, it is just a play. Next stage, you wake up from your dream. Dream is not there at all. So these points are brought out, and let's go on with these two Yoga Vasishtha teachings. Wind exists as long as there is vibration or commotion in the air. But when the vibration subsides, it is lost in the ocean of peaceful air. See, when the breeze blows and when there is nothing blowing, people begin to complain. But you are constantly breathing. Air is all around you. So what's the difference between the peaceful air and the breeze that blows? The difference lies in a spandan, vibration. What's the difference between the screen and the show? Show consists of projection. Every moment projection is cast upon the screen. That projection movement is called spandan. Chitta spandan, created by your conditioned unconscious or conditioned mind that is not enlightened, creates that type of illusion, considers the spandan as a reality. But when the spandan, the projection moves away, that's the reality. In the same way, as long as The vibrations exist in consciousness so long the world is sustained. But when the vibrations are withdrawn by wisdom, intuitive realization, it's a revelation, I am Brahman, the world ceases to exist. Brahman alone exists. While traveling in a dream, one does not travel. In reality, that doesn't need explanation. In your dream, you have a long cherished wish to take a long trip and at least visit 50 of the best restaurants and enjoy their delicacies. And suddenly you find, fortunate enough, you are already in the plane. Everything, convenience of the plane is before you, waiting for fulfillment. So while traveling in a dream, one does not travel in reality. Within a moment, a mosquito may buzz near your ear, and suddenly you get out of this wonderful dream. In the same way, while perceiving movements and activities in day-to-day life, a sage does not move, nor does he perform any action in his consciousness. The sage is involved in a world where lots of things will continue to happen, led by his Ichha Prarabdha. Certain things occur that are very convenient, cute, cozy, just simple, joyous. Then there are things happen that you don't like. You don't like to have a headache. You don't like to have aches and pains. And similar, many things that can be negative. But they do happen, whether you are a sage or not. Being a saint is not preventing you from experiencing frustrating circumstances. And then there is Parichha Prarabdha. You are led by people around you. It was not originated by your plan, but your advisors, your disciples, they have planned a whole festivity. So that's called Parichha Prarabdha. So Prarabdha continues to bring different situations, very joyous, very challenging, apparently very terrible. But in spite of whatever may be the outer experience, inwardly a sage is Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. By the force of reflection, O Sri Rama, behold the glory of the self, which causes a multi-aspected world to arise from itself. The practice of manana, reflection, is to bring your understanding to that level, an understanding that promotes revelation. I am Brahman, and promotes a sense of illusoriness. towards all that you experience through your mental thought waves. This movement is progressive from the point of view of aspirants. You don't attain Jivan Mukti just in one step. But to the extent you allow yourself to be detached from your mental thoughts, to be witness to your own mind, and that's a profound mystic art. So while witnessing, you urge your mind to have a positive visualization. This causes the disappearance of a little mind in the vast ocean of pure consciousness. Section 60. The glory of the self. The self is the supreme abode. It is the sustenance of the self that great divinities such as Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva and others become endowed with infinite glory. You are being led to understand the glory, the power, the Aishwarya of your innermost self. When you are told you are Brahman, it doesn't give to your mind all this extension. In other words, an aspirant who is told, meditate Aham Brahmasmi, he does that meditation for a due date, but then he loses inspiration. Yes, I know Aham Brahman. What else? What else is? You are Brahma, you are Vishnu, you are Shiva. What else? You are countless deities, Indra, Kubera, and Agni Devata, wind god, and all gods and goddesses. You are. I'm referring to Sagun Sakar, in two stages, Sagun Sakar and Nirgun Nirakar. Not Nirgun Nirakar, Sagun Nirakar. Remember always 3 points in your meditative process. When a meditation on God, first you are led by Sagun Sakar, such as Krishna, Rama. Your mind is given all the picture of how does the Lord Rama stand, how the beautiful bow adorns his shoulders, his blue complexion, how does it reveal the glory of God, and lots of descriptions, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, Jesus, whomsoever, that's how you begin. So that's the entire show of Sagun Sakar is the I am. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham is Shiva, Krishna, Rama, Buddha, Jesus. In 2 stages, Sagun Sakar and Sagun Nirakar, same God whom you worshipped by so many descriptions of every detail. How are his nails, how are his hair, and many details of God. Now all those details move away, and details of spiritual virtues, how kind, how gracious, how full of compassion, how profound, and so forth. Sahasranam, 1,000 glories of God, without having any body behind it. But that again is you, the I am. And then you are being led to Nirguna Nirakar, where all these mental visualizations simply move away, just like you start your yoga nidra and enter into real nidra. Everything moves away. That's Nirguna Nirakar. When all has moved away, Brahman alone shines. So this entire movement has to be assimilated by your sadhana. While traveling in a dream, one does not travel in reality. In the same way, while perceiving movements and activities in day-to-day life, a sage does not move, nor does he perform any action. That's from his point of view of his inherent intrinsic consciousness. Who am I? Look at a pot. The reflected sun is shaking. But the inherent sun, the reality of the reflected sun, is not shaking, is ever the same. Realization, I am the sun, does not need the reflected sun to vanish. It continues to reflect, but you are not lost in that reflection. By the force of reflection, O Sri Rama, behold the glory of the self, which causes multi-aspected world to arise from itself, and which also sees the cessation of the world, like the disappearance of a little mud in the vast ocean of surging waves. This is a description of dream that brings out so many things and then suddenly disappears. Nothing within your dream is unreal. From another angle, you who have been alone in the process of your sleeping, now you have turned into a whole world. Everything of the dream is you. Let it be a little crow, let it be a frog, let it be a mosquito, even a needle point. Everything is you, as well as nothing exists. The self is the supreme abode. It is by the sustenance of the self that great divinities such as Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva and others become endowed with infinite glory. The self is the highest limit of bliss. Having realized the self, one does not die of hunger, nor is he afflicted by cravings. He experiences infinite satisfaction and peace. Param Tripti, Param Shanti. Who experiences it? You have lots of problems when you go to deep sleep. Now, suddenly you move away from all your problems and you are snoring. I'm joking. You don't have to snore if you are in real sleep. but you are experiencing absence of the world. And even the question of absence and presence don't arise in your mind. That gives you a simple indication of what it would be to have the revelation, I am Brahman. Sleep is pointing, in Upalakshana, pointing a finger towards that attainment. In spite of all the challenges go on in daily life, still every day, so many hours of the day, you are completely cut out of the world. And you will never complain. Rather, you begin to complain when you don't sleep. So what does it say from profounder point of view? That the world is not the basis of your contentment. It is the slipping into sleep that is the basis of your contentment. When you move away from the whole world, which is illusions surging in waves, and you dive, you are as if moving away into the state of absolute awareness. And that results in supreme satisfaction, param shanti, param tripti. Now all these descriptions are meant to help you in practicing affirmation. Why do we describe all these characteristics of sages? Those characteristics, you have to imagine you have gotten it. As mind becomes calm, allow as if a voice comes from your heart, and the voice is your Guru telling you, Aham Brahma, I am not this body. I am right on the Himalayan mountain. I am enjoying the shower of grace from the nectarine moon. I am enjoying, basking the rays of divine sunshine. This form of movement must be with magnanimity. You should be miserly. Suddenly your mind says, how can you be with so many karmas? So the conditioned mind is dragging you to worldly thoughts, worldly vexations. Your sadhana movement is inspiring you to glimpse, to visualize magnanimous view of who you are. And that's the purpose behind all the descriptions of sages and their characteristics. The self is the highest limit of bliss. Having realized the self, one does not die of hunger. Nor is he, the fact is, realization of the self is the remedy, is the antidote to mortality virus. The only virus you suffer from, the worst of all viruses, is the illusion of mortality, the idea of who you are. And the idea is that you are going to go through growing process, aging process, and disease, and ultimately death. And this idea of death brings a horror in your mind. But that horror should be removed by Hari Bol, because you are not a mortal personality. Mortality is an affliction caused by ignorance. This universe is pervaded by the self. Having glimpsed this self, even for a moment, a person struggling in the world attains freedom from all miseries. The answer to all problems is here and now, in the state of serenity. Once the mind has shut out all the past and all the future and stood above time, that moment you see the gateway to liberation. The prominent gateway, Shama, serenity. The breeze of serenity begins to blow. For all this experience, what's needed is abhyasa, sustained sadhana, vairagya, and divine qualities of persistence, patience, and mystic optimism, Shraddha, faith. Sri Ramchandra asked, O sage, is this self endowed with the attributes of mind, intellect, ego, and chitta? Or is it devoid of all attributes? Yes, the answer is it is devoid of all attributes. But since you are working through your mind to attain enlightenment, you entertain the attributes in 3 stages, as I have already explained: Sagun Sakar, Sagun Nirakar, Nirgun Nirakar. But all this is a means to an end. If this self is devoid of all attributes, how is it possible for this self to reveal its glory to the world? Now, just like a childish question, but if one is not enlightened, great questions, even ordinary spiritual questions, become very important. As sensitivity starts, your questions have answers in them automatically. Sage Vasishtha replied, O gentle Rama, it is the self that abides in all bodies, performing the functions of eating, thinking, various movements. Sage Vasishtha is giving the insight that even though you seem to be involved with so many experiences, you see through your eyes, hear through your ears, and different organs perform different functions. But in reality, all these functions are spandan, consciousness vibrating through projection of your mind. And projection is not the reality. So once the projection is removed, it becomes easy for you to develop the affirmation. Who is the seer? Who is the thinker? Who is the experiencer? And if you become deeply involved in it, then your life becomes inspirational. On the other hand, instead of having that inquiring mind, one develops a decisive mind. I am already miserable. What are you asking me to do? Adding more misery to it. It is the same self that experiences the three states, waking, dream, and deep sleep. Try to develop that witnessing stage. How you experience the waking state. What happens when waking state changes into dream state. Both states are similar. One is of short duration. During sleep you have short dreams. But in your daily life, you are gripped by the sleep of ignorance. And all that you live through, cycles of birth and death, is a long dream. Every moment you are experiencing a world of dream where you are never fulfilled, but you think you are enjoying it, you are the one eating it. But then why you remain thirsty, unfulfilled, or sometimes too much fulfilled, leading to trouble. So the mind has to be hammered with these insights that the world is a leela, sport. The life you live in is like a long dream. So, even though the dream may present very ugly situation, but at the same time, if you understand it is a dream, then it has opened a door to great inspiration that everything in your dream that you see is you. Not your ego, but the real you. Everything that you experience in the world is you. Ahame vedam sarvam. This aham in you is everywhere. So don't look at the world as separate from you. In the state of turiya or transcendental realization, the self goes beyond the three states and abides in its own glory. This very self is described as satta samanya, the synonym for sattvapatti. Satta samanya means pure existence, not existence of a thing, but without thingness, just absolute existence. That revelation is experienced when you have come to the fourth bhumika, fourth step of jnana, wisdom. Remember, shubhecha is your first step, aspiration. Vicharana is your second step, inquiry, visualization, thoughtfulness, all that come under vicharana. Tanumanasi, attenuating the obstructive aspect of your chitta. Attenuating your mala and vikshepa. And then there dawns sattvapatti, just like you are emerging out of a vicious dream with a big relief that is all this is just a dream. Once there comes all this is a dream, it is satta samanya, means everything in your dream is you. I'm in dream, so there is no selectiveness. This area is my dream, and this is my reality. No, the entire dream, on all its details, is you. Ahame vedam sarvam. You extend yourself to the entire world of your dream. The past of your dream, the future of your dream, and all the illusions that are created by your dream. And the revelation comes when you wake up, or when you bring inquiring mind. Is the process of awakening. Aham Brahmasmi. The self is with attributes. As long as the mind is not transcended, as long as you have not become absolutely free, come into padartha bhavana state, when all padarthas, all the world of support moves away, and it's like all of the snake moves away, only the rope exists. Then you are no longer dependent upon attributes of the self. You have gone beyond Sagun Sakar stage, gone beyond Sagun Nirakar stage, and you are plunged in Nirgun Nirakar. That's the state of Padartha Bhavana. When the mind is freed from all cravings and is dissolved in its source, the self, then the entire world process is effaced from one's consciousness. What remains is absolute existence, devoid of all attributes. This self abides in the sky, in the form of the sky. Now, all that is being told is for the practice of affirmation. Having understood this point, now enjoy a feast of wisdom. Look up to the sky. The self abides in the sky, in the form of the sky. It abides in sound, in the form of the sound. It abides in objects, in the form of the objects. Every little bit, as well as every majestic sight, is I am. In milk it abides in the form of milk. In the wind it abides in the form of wind. This shouldn't confuse you. You don't have to alter things. You don't have to scratch. I must find God. I have to scratch this and remove names and forms. Don't worry about it. Take everything as expression of God. It abides in the mind, in the form of the mind. In the intellect, it abides in the form of the intellect. It exists in the form of gods, human beings, animals, and all other beings. It manifests in the form of time, ages, years, months, weeks, hours, minutes, and seconds. Thou can understand the predicament of human mind. How every day, so much news enter your mind. But all the extension of time and what's going to happen in future and all the worries about your future is so stupid. Like the sun suddenly begins to suffer from chronic headache because a news media sent a news representative to the sun telling all the trouble the children of the sun have gone through. Children of the sun are reflected suns. And how they are going through so many yugas, so many challenges. And suppose the sun god begins to grieve, so that will be extreme stupidity. Similarly, that understanding has to enter, and that visualization has to enter your heart. The real I am is like the sun. And no matter how things move in the world, I am unaltered, ever the same. So the movements in the world, how you feel about them is your choice. Your choice, you want to feel miserable, yes? Bang on your head. Or understand, put bhakti in your heart, and all this is under divine will. You think it's tragic, but God is the one who is handling this hospital of the world process. So if you have trust in Him, then how anything can be tragic. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer extends to all of you. May God shower His grace, Karunamaya, over all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.